Okay, this building that I'd seen earlier coming down from that railroad bridge and that monastery and church there to this building on my right, which has the beautiful blue tile work. This building, which has nothing, is Bento Railroad Station. And so we're going to go up this way to get to the market, a man tells me. It's almost kind of embarrassing for me in this country to say thank you for your English. Almost everybody you talk to has it. This is interesting. I'll try and see it sometime on my way. Douro Village. Douro is the valley where port wine is and has been made. So I assume I'm getting close to a market when I see something like Casa Horticola, which, other than my pronunciation, probably has something to do with horticulture. A little shop also. Now you wonder in the town or city like this whether there's much opportunity for it. You have starter plants if you wish to start. So look at what an elegant, old-fashioned looking place it is inside as well as outside. It reminds me of Mother Brothers grocery store, at least on the inside, and this woodwork in Brandon, Manitoba. Just before I pan to the front of the market building, I just noticed these beautiful doors. This building is presumably the market, I noticed, as I was getting paranoid about missing it. That's the entrance for one of them. We'll go look at it. Look at, there's 2 or 3 tiers. Well, at least 2. That higher tier up there. We'll go down below and then work our way up. Several shops not open. Pretty close to 8:30, and it may well be that it's too early for Portugal to be up since they party late into the night. As I walk down through here, you can see the vegetables available, not to mention the meat markets over on the other side there. And here it still has the old trappings of the old kind of market, kept cleaner by EU rules, but nevertheless all the old fittings. You can imagine the bustle it takes her when it's really cranked on full bore. Of her mother and of her grandmother, all of whom have operated from this same special stall with its own little enclosure, just like that one. But now she has no daughter, her son's not interested, so it will have to go back to the town. But a great little history. So whatever priority of history gives you access to a specific booth, of course you can be sure that location is critical. That's the way it works. Apparently some remodeling, I think. No, not really. There is no second tier except for that top one, which we'll go up to as soon as I find some stairs to get there with. And the olives that the Canadian from Quebec complains she never has, and where she lives, are here in great profusion, as well as candies. And here, barrels probably full of cooking oil. I'm just taking a flying guess. Wrong. They're probably filled with brine and olives. Duh. So one of the things about being a cook in Portugal or Europe or any countries that are more agrarian than the United States on a local level is that cooking is more of a endeavor, and women know how to do more cooking with basics. Now here's a whole section of enclosed places. Originally embellished like this with these kind of Gothic arch windows. Not a clue how old that would be. This obviously a newer innovation, and this is the back. She does her selling from the front. And here, if you're here at the right time, probably even now, you can have lunch or breakfast or whatever. Here a different motif on this building. And here a rather elegant staircase up to this, I'll call it the 3rd floor, even though it's technically the 2nd. Here's some relatively recent commercial tile work. What a lovely open air center building. We'll walk around that entire perimeter. And look at the metal support work of this, what I'm calling the 3rd floor. Considerable amount of restoration going on down at that end of the building. To wonder how they get everything up here. There must be a lift somewhere that helps them do that. There's more stuff up here than there is down below. Since these are not kiosks, are they less traditional? Is it less cost up here? Do they get the same traffic? Will people walk up those stairs? They wouldn't be here if it wasn't happening. Notice those big tomatoes, almost 4 or 5 inches wide. Pomegranates? Nice looking apples there. Not familiar with that melon. I'm not sure whether the remodeling work is to provide new structure, since certainly those are providing support there for that balcony, but there are shops there, so we'll walk around that. With display devices for the fish, let the ice and water drain out. Looks like there's some product from Peru here. Great support for the football or soccer teams. A little bit more than simple structural detail. I gather from these signs, which I can partially interpret, that there are certain days of the month or the week that they're open, and therefore days they're not. You can only imagine this would be a particularly nice location, other than being up on the 3rd floor. It's on a corner and has a rounded configuration, just making it a little bit more interesting as a shop. But that may be anticlimactic if there isn't enough business to justify it. And here's the long view. I always ask the question, with so much redundancy, how does anybody make any money? Guess is that these tarps indicate that the prevailing weather comes from that direction. And I bet you this bell serves some function, or at least it used to. The pull string is gone, so it's not used now, but like the stock exchange, it might signal when it was open, when it was closed.